Hey everybody, welcome to another collaboration video. If Caleb brought you here on his channel, thank you for coming to my channel for this portion of the collaboration. And if you're watching this video first out of the collaboration, I hope my video convinces you to go check out Caleb's take on the subject that we're going to cover today. So for today's topic of discussion, we're going to talk about films that annoy me. And when Caleb does his take, it's going to be films that annoy him. So I basically chose 10 different things to talk about today for this. And the reason why I say 10 things rather than 10 movies is one of them is more so a category. Like, this director has basically have made nothing but really bad ones that I can't stand. So that's why I said 10 things instead of 10 films. But nonetheless, I have 10 film related things to tell you about today that really do annoy me, just as far as either the execution or the content. Or, it's not just that not only are these films bad, but these films just really get on my nerves in a really, there's something about them that have a really sense of annoyance that just really get under my skin and really bother me after a while. So the first film I want to tell you about today is Transformers 3. The reason why I hate Transformers 3 is not only did it remind me that Michael Bay does not want to improve upon his work, Transformers 3 was proof that Hollywood will basically make anything to make money. They will do anything to get whatever target audience the film is into the theater. And though, that's never really always a bad thing, I think Transformers 3 kind of represents that bad side of Hollywood where they'll get the really bad actress from a Victoria's Secrets commercial to be in the film to cover an actress that, for some odd reason, will not come back. It has tons of action scenes that really don't mean anything. They get pointless. They get stupid. You don't care about them after a while. You don't care about the characters in those scenes after a while. And I just think Transformers 3 is basically, it has no reason to exist. The only reason why it exists is to make the people who were involved with it get more money into their pockets, to get Michael Bay something to do, and to kind of get a way to make a Transformers movie that didn't have Megan Fox. And based on what I know about Transformers 4, that's basically a Transformers film to find a way to continue itself without using Shia LaBeouf. And I don't know. I really feel this series should have died after Transformers 2. Transformers 3 is further proof that that series should have died after number 2. Really had no point to continue after number 2. They could have stopped it there, and unfortunately they didn't. So Transformers 3 is a film that annoys me. And it's also called Transformers Dark of the Moon for those who really wanted to know the exact title of the movie. The next one is actually a film that I haven't watched in a long time, and thank God I haven't because it really bothers me a lot. Um, I have some people in my family, though, who, strangely enough, really enjoy it. The next film is called The Women, and it's actually a remake of an older film called The Women. The newer one, we had like Carrie Fisher, Eva Mendes, and a bunch of other like A-list and B-list actresses who I don't know how they got a part of it, but they did. The Women, you guys, and not only was it a horrible, horrendous, pointless movie, it really got under my skin and on my nerves because it really was annoying. It really was. You really couldn't tolerate sitting through it. It was one of those kind of movies. I mean, the jokes were horrible, the acting was bad. I didn't care about anybody in the movie. I didn't like the way the film was shot. It was just, it was almost as if the director was out to annoy me, to bother me, and to really make me have a hard time sitting through the actual movie. And everything about that movie I don't like. The jokes are just, they're intolerably bad, and I hate the movie. It's the remake of The Women. Never watch it. It annoys me. It's an awful film, and not only is it bad, it'll make you kind of feel bad about yourself after watching it because you almost kind of wonder why you just sat through what you just sat through, and it really gets under my skin about that quality of it. The next one not only bothered me, but also the trailers for it bothered me whenever I was seeing a movie around the time it was about to come out. And it just got really under my skin. I'm really glad that it bombed and it failed and it got bad reviews because this is another film that just really bothered me after a while. And to tell you the truth, the plot of the film kind of annoys me as well. It's called The Backup Plan. It was with Jennifer Lopez, who's done, who's doing American Idol right now and stuff. Back when she was really getting serious about being an actress, and she's kind of converted back to music now. But this was around the time where she just got back into acting after giving birth to like one or two or three of her kids, I think. And the plot of the film annoyed me. The trailers annoyed me. It really looked like the ultimate way to annoy a straight man, if you know what I mean. It felt like, I don't know. It just felt like getting revenge on the audience or something. It just really, the jokes really did not. They didn't even feel like jokes. They felt like just a way to torture somebody, and it just really got under my skin. Never watched The Backup Plan. It's a stupid, horrible film, and I have no idea why it got made. The next one I know a lot of people like. It personally bothers me, and it almost kind of, in all honesty, it also bothers me because I think it's not very respectful to like older couples. I don't think either. It kind of has like an unrealistic expectation of older couples, and I really don't like that quality of it. It's called It's Complicated with Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin. Like I said, I know tons of people love this film. My parents love this film. It seems like anybody over the age of 40 really likes this movie. So I don't know. Maybe when I turn 40 and I get older, I'll maybe like it. But I just think I don't like it when a film thinks that like people in their 70s and 80s and 90s like have sex all the time. It's just like they're so run down by then. No, they're not. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel that movie, and like, every time I've seen clips of it and things like that, I feel like it's giving wrong messages to people. And I really don't like when a film does that. So it's complicated. It really annoys me. It bothers me. It gets under my skin. Every time I see in like a Walmart or a Target, I just kind of cringe a little bit. It's one of those films where it's just like, I don't want anything to do with that. The next film is Troll 2. And almost everybody who has seen a movie or has heard of Troll 2 even can tell you that Troll 2 is probably one of the worst films ever made. Troll 2, not only is it awful, it's camp, doesn't even work. It doesn't even work as like a cult classic, I don't think. It's just so horrendously bad. It's almost hard to watch it as like a so bad it's good kind of film because there's some really really horrendous scenes in it, and as like from a writing perspective too, it just really really annoys me. So Troll 2 made it on the list. The next one was actually a film that I couldn't even sit through all the way, which was The Master of Disguise. I was 12 years old when it came out, and even at 12 years old, I couldn't even sit through it very well. Dana Carvey was in it, and he kind of disappeared after that movie, thank God. But yeah, it just, the jokes were bad, the story was awful. It really got under my skin. It really, really bothered me. Um, it was just one of those films where I was disgusted by the fact that it got made. It was one of those kind of things. So, Master of Disguise, don't watch it. Then the next film I would consider to be the worst film ever made. So, that being said, it makes perfect sense why it's on the films that annoy me list. The Hours. It's the worst film ever made. I don't know why my parents rented it around the time that they did. I don't know why the Film Academy nominated it for awards. It really didn't deserve anything. The film itself was just horrendous. It's almost kind of hard to call it a film just because it's so horrendously executed. It's so awful. The acting is just so overly appreciated and overdone and overrated, and it's just really really awful film. I didn't like anything about it. I still to this day scratch my head and wonder, who exactly thought it was a good idea to make the movie. um, so The Hours, don't watch it, and it annoys me. The next film annoys me because not only is it look a really awful film, and I watched parts of it and couldn't even sit through the whole thing. This next film just, it kind of questions, who who exactly gets all this money in Hollywood, because some people just really don't deserve this money for these big budget productions, and movie 43 is a perfect example of that. I don't know how you got like Brett Ratner and James Gunn, the Farley brothers, and all these other people who've at least made one or two good films at one point in their career could have come together for this film that really has no reason for existence. And it just, I don't know, movie 43 bothers me because it's just like, it's like these. There's a lot of directors that these days that that really want to get into the film industry, and yet they can't get in there because stupid movies like Movie 43 are getting made, and money towards that's happening there. When the money for these independent directors that have really good ideas that would make good films aren't getting the money for their productions. So it's one of those bothersome moments where you're almost wondering, is it really right for these really stupid movies to get so much money to get made? It just kind of bothers you after a while. The next one bothers me because we have a really talented person involved with it who I don't know what convinced him to direct it. And not only did he direct it, but this is also a sequel to another film that I thought was really awful too, which was Daddy Day Camp. It's a sequel to Daddy Daycare. Fred Savage from the Wonder Years directed it, and I have no idea what convinced him to do it. It bothers me because it's just once again it's like where does this money go? Why did the money go to that instead of I don't know like a Flash movie or a Wonder Woman movie or something that I would actually want to go to the theater and watch? So Daddy Day Camp bothers me. It just once again I still scratch my head and wonder why exactly that got made. Do kids really like that kind of stuff? And it's stupid. I don't like that thing that got made. I think it's just a horrible, horrendous idea that should have never made it to the surface to a screenplay and on a camera, and somehow it did. Then my last person, this is once again why I made this 10 things rather than 10 films, is actually just a director in general. Every single one of his films are awful. Never watch any of his films. He has to personally finance his own films because the studio is actually smart enough not to finance his films. Thank God. And that's Yua Bull's films. Yua Bull is out to kill video games. He has no intent of making a good video game film adaptation. Yua Bull needs to disappear. There's even a contract out right now where if it gets a certain amount of signatures, he'll even personally stop directing movies. And I really hope it gets enough signatures because I really don't like this guy. Um, yeah, I do think video games do have a chance of becoming good films someday, but it's people like Yua Bull who are out to kill that opportunity, and that really bothers me. And the fact that he makes horrible films as it is, and he's making video game film adaptations is just beyond stupidity, I think. So, Uable, please disappear. Stop making movies, and do us all a favor and just don't be in anybody's way again. So that's my take on the subject, you guys. Please check out Caleb's take. I know this is more of a rant more than anything, but some of these films really, really get under my skin and annoy me. They really do. And yeah, like I said, please check out Caleb's take. It'll be interesting to see how much he really hates the films that he talks about and things like that. So if he brought you here, thank you. And if I'm bringing you to him, please check out his stuff. I highly encourage you to do that. And I will see you guys here for future videos. And Caleb and I will probably do more collaboration videos in the future as well.